It's 8:02 already? In the world? Window mode. Up there. Full screen mode. There, finally. You're all set. So when you are all set, what you want to do is on your computer try to find that file that we worked with on Friday. So I hope you saved it somewhere in that folder I asked you to find it, make a folder. If not, you can always download a fresh copy. And it's not that big of a deal because we didn't do that much on Friday, but good to keep track of what you did. Set here. You all set? Yes, go ahead. All set? Alex, you did all right? Yep. All set, Allie? All right. Good job. Doing something. All right, we're doing it. not rushing you. Oh, those histograms are beautiful. Got it. That's something. All right. Good, good. Think we got them all? Is anyone holding out on me? All right, just want to make sure because it sometimes happens. Okay, so let's see if we can do this. The first one, of course, was hopefully easy. You said, hey, if there are 25 pencils in this sample, then there must be five here, right? Because there's 20 accounted for. Is that right? We have 11, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, so it's got to be 25, right? Or 5 to make it 25. And then there's just, you do either like this, 1 out of 25 was in this. That's what the relative frequency is. Or you can write it as a decimal. However you want to do it is fine. I'll write these as decimals. 0.20, I think. 0.44. 11/25 is fine. So however you do it is fine. 0.08. So either actually do the division on your calculator to get the decimal, or write it as a percentage, 4%, 8%, 20%, just what percent is in each category. And then finally, the cumulative relative frequency is what happens if you accumulate frequencies. So you start with 0.04 because that's just there. And then you add in the 0.08, and then you add in the 32, 0.76, what are we up to, 92, I think. So I'm just adding up. For example, this, if I add those up, you get this, and this should be 100% or 1. So if you put those as percentages, fine. If you left them as fractions, that's fine. You would have, like this would be 23/25. Because if you add up all of those, divide by 25, you get 23. All right, very good. Hopefully that's not too bad. Remember that these quizzes are worth almost nothing, and they're just to help. The reason I do them every day is to help you know how you're doing, help me know how you're doing, and then also when it comes time for the test will have a problem almost identical to this. Like I just take all the quizzes and I put them all together, and it turns into a big test. So once I give all these back to you, you'll know exactly what's on the exam. So that's another benefit. Well, just about exactly, because I sometimes shake it up a little bit, but not much. All right, hopefully you have access to your Excel stuff from last time. Here's mine, just a minute. That's that's a bunch of Excel junk, but it's this one down here. So you can see it was saved, and this is what we were working on last time. And I saw several people who had theirs open, and they had this beautiful histogram that they made. So today we're just going to wrap things up, do the rest of this stuff. And let's see, I need to know what the rest of this stuff is. So bear with me for just a minute while I dig out of my files the list of things that we're doing. Let's see. Not that, not that. There it is. Here we are. Basic graphs in Excel. This, I know, we've already looked at this, but let's see, we've already done this, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we got up to this. Okay, few things with the histogram, and then we'll move on. And if you have trouble with any of these, if you're stuck, let me know. This is, like I said, we're going to go slowly, well, Friday and today, but in the future, hopefully that'll allow us to go a little bit faster because you'll all be more familiar with the idea of using Excel. Basically, the reason why we use Excel, I have two reasons why, is because I don't want you to have to suffer doing the calculations by hand. And the calculations are horrendous later on. I used to make students do this with a hand calculator. It took forever. They'd be like, calculate. It would take forever to do all these calculations. So I don't want you to have to suffer that way. And then the second reason is that in many of your chosen professions or the things that you're studying, you will eventually encounter some form of Excel. Like if you're a nursing major, probably you'll have to deal with Excel. I've told had former students come back and say, yeah, in this hospital I worked at, we used Excel for all sorts of things. And so being familiar with it, not scared of it, is really helpful. Same with like social work majors, business for sure. Just to have some working knowledge of how does Excel, so that you aren't scared of it. So hopefully after this semester, you won't be scared of it. If you're scared of it now, get it out of your system. It'll be okay. Okay, next we have this dot plots. So we're gonna, oh, sorry, gotta finish this. Finish up. Finish the histogram. So hopefully you have this. Let me just review briefly how I got this chart. Is I highlighted my data. So, I told you I would tell you some of the secrets of the keyboard. So what you can do, and all of my hints about the keyboard are for the PC, the Windows. If you have a Macintosh, probably the only difference is when I say Control, you're going to use Command. But anyway, so I'm using my arrows. See, look at this. It moves around. Isn't that beautiful? Arrows to move around. So I move up to the top of my column, and then I hold down Control-Shift, and then press the down arrow key. Boom. Highlights the whole thing instantly. Isn't that so much quicker than trying to use your mouse up and down? But anyway, so I've got that highlighted, and then I go up to the title bar. I know we did this at the end of class last time, but I want to make sure that we got this. So we go up to the top, and you go to Insert, and this is where I differ from Newton. Newton will tell you to do this a different way, a harder way. This is easier. The harder way involves the data analysis tool pack, but this is quite easy. You go up to recommended charts, click that, and then don't choose any of these. You're going to choose all charts and then go down to histogram. Just a minute, let me just remind myself, how do I do this? There it is. So now we can see it's nice and big. So histogram, click histogram, and then when you do that, it'll say, oh, here's what you want. And you're like, yeah, that's what I want. Click OK. It's so easy. Now, the only problem is that it doesn't always set things up the way that you would want. That is to say, especially when you get to Newton, it'll say, it'll tell you what it wants you to set your, like how to set up your groups, and so here, these groups don't make a lot of sense because we're talking about grades. I'd like to have this arranged from like 50 to 60, 60 to 70. So here's what I did. If you didn't catch it last time, I right-clicked the bottom bar. Oh, and once again, I don't know about you Mac people. Hopefully you know the translation. When I say right-click, by the way, what is it? Just so I know. When I say right-click, what do you guys, the Mac people, what do you do? Do you like double tap? No one wants to tell me. Do you know what to do to get this little menu, the context menu? Like, what did you do? No? You don't know how to get it? Oh, this is good to know then. So how do we get a context menu on a, like what is the equivalent, the right-click equivalent? You Mac people. Does anyone know? You use two fingers? Okay, so try this. Try this, Noah. Move your mouse, like the pointer, to be on this bar, and then tap with two fingers. Is that what you do? And did the context menu come up? Okay, so whenever I say right-click, for you Mac people, I know you're suffering because you have a worse computer than everyone else. I'm just kidding. I know you Mac people always think that their computer's great, and we love you for it. But anyway, whenever I say right-click, you just, I guess, double tap. And so, Alana, are you the Mac expert that I can turn to? I need a Mac expert. I need Dr. Hawthorne. Or someone, I know several of my colleagues who use Macs, and they're like, oh, I love Macintosh. But anyway, we'll suffer through. If there's anything, so Noah, don't keep silent. If there's something I do and you're like, I don't know how to do it, let me know, and I'll ask Alana, and then we'll get it straightened out. See, this is good. So this is the sort of thing that I don't want you to gloss over. Okay, so let me zoom in so that you can see what I'm doing. Come on, zoom in. Hold on a minute. Come on. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Okay, there it is, zoom. Okay, so I'm right clicking. You're gonna double tap or double finger tap if you're a, whatever it is. And then I go to format axis. So you click format axis and it opens up a little bar on the right. So you go to the sidebar, and on that sidebar, you have several options here. We want to set a bin width to whatever it is that we're interested in. And remember, I want to count like this: 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70, etc. And so the bin width is the size of the groups. The size of my groups is going to be 10. So choose bin width because we don't want Excel to make the choice for us. And then once we do that, you'll notice that it does change things, but it doesn't quite do it the way I want it. I want to go 40 to 50, 50 to 60, and so on. And so to force it to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it where the very first one is going to end. And I know that's weird, but I need to tell it that the very first grouping is going to end at 50. And that's going to be what's called the underflow bin. So the underflow bin will end at 50. So I check that underflow bin box and I say, I want that to end at 50. And then you'll see that things work out the way we want it to. Isn't that beautiful? So, by the way, one other thing that you should note about this is that the way Excel is doing this, I wonder if this is going to be a problem. I'll look into it in terms of Newton. It's going to be okay. So, yeah, see, I just want you to learn about it. And Newton, there are times when it's picky, more picky than I would like it to be. So I'll look into this to see if it's going to be a problem for this to be like this. But what this symbolism means is it means every observation that is bigger than 50. So that's what that. Let me move my mouse so we can zoom in. There we go. So that symbolism means bigger than 50. That's what that parenthesis means. Up to 60, including the 60s. But the 60s, they're included in this one, not in this one. And the 50s are included down here. So these are numbers bigger than 50 up to 60. So you might say that that's not quite what you would like. If you don't like it that way, you could always change this to underflow bin to 49.5. That'll push everything down a bit and maybe make you happier. Yeah, what do you think, Alana? You don't have a bin width? You've got format axis? Noah, do you have a bin width? No bin width? Darn it. Let me see. Number format? Hold on a sec. What? What? Number format? Come on. Format chart area. I want to format the axis. Format axis. Just a sec. Oh no. Oh wait, there's a gap width. Oh, that's not what I want though. Oh, I hate Max. Sorry. Okay. Oh, this is so sad for me. Okay. Okay. All right. I was talking to my colleague on Friday about this, because he's got to do the same thing, and he was talking about using the data analysis tool pack, and I was thinking to myself, haha, we don't need that. Maybe we do. Darn it. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I got to regroup now. It's okay. Just a sec. Macintosh people, you're going to be all right. We love you even though you cause us so much pain. Just a minute. Let me see. Do I have any more? What about ages? That's a dot plot thing. There's babies. The babies are great. Let's see. Grades. Yeah, this is going to kill us, isn't it? Okay, yeah, let's start fresh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to push this aside. We're going to start fresh. Okay, so data analysis tool pack. Those of you who have Excel installed on your computer, you're going to do this. Go over to data and look over on the right side of the menu bar it's better for me to deal with this now. It's thank you. I know I complain, and it's please just take it comically, not personally. So when I complain about the Mac people, like I said, we love you, and I know that it's something that we're gonna have to deal with. So look for data analysis. This is under data. Click data, move over. Is there a data analysis? There is? Oh, thank God. So if there is not, some of you are like, wait, there is not a data analysis on mine. Okay, I will show you. I showed you last time, but some of you didn't take me seriously because I said you didn't need it. But now apparently we do need it because we're going to be using it. Okay, so the way you get data analysis, if it's not over here, is we go over to File. So get over to File right there. See File at the top. When you click File, you can go down to Options. So click Options, and then this window pops up, and there's this big long list. But what we want to do is we want to do add-ins. So you'll find add-ins on the thing. So I'll write this, maybe I'll write it on the board because I know some of you are a little behind. You can't click as quickly as I can. This will slow me down as well. So we go to File, Options, Add-ins. That's what I did, isn't it? I've got markers on the floor everywhere. Oh yeah, Excel options and then add-ins. So you're clicking that little thing on the left, add-ins. You can always watch the video. I know it's not a popular thing to do, but it's going to be in the recording. Just fast forward through to this portion of the video, and then you can enjoy it a second time. So under add-ins, you'll find at the bottom this manage, and you want to select Excel add-ins. So here, I'll zoom out because I know it's a little bit annoying to see that little zoom area there, but there it is. That's what it looks like. But here it is zoomed in. So you're going to manage the Excel add-ins. Click Go, and then you'll get this little window, and you want to make sure that Analysis Toolpak and Analysis Toolpak VBA are both checked. You can click OK. Now here's something weird that sometimes happens. You might say, wait a minute, mine are both checked, but I don't have data analysis. If that happens, then what you want to do is uncheck them. Uncheck. There, uncheck. Click OK. And then go do the same thing and check them. So I'll just show you what. Oh, come on. Sorry, it's hard to navigate when it's zoomed in. Okay. Go to data. Notice that data analysis no longer exists over there. So I'm going to do it again. File, options, add-ins, data analysis, or no, Excel add-ins. And then I'm going to check these two boxes. Click OK. And then it magically appears up there. So hopefully now you have your data analysis toolpak. Okay. Now, let us figure out, it's been so long since I've done it this way. Okay, so now what you're going to do, why did that happen? Just a minute, I want to zoom in. Let's get rid of this. Zoom in a little further. There it is. Okay, so what we're going to do is on our histogram, I know we've got, some of you have histograms already that are beautiful and acceptable, but we're going to do it again, but we're going to use data analysis. So, so what we have is we have these things that are like groupings. Excel calls those groupings bins. Like if you think of a bin that you can put things in, like a bucket, you can put various people in the bucket or the bins based on what their score was on the exam. And they're going to name the bins or the buckets. They're going to name them according to the upper limit. So here, the 70, the 60. So what we want to do is we want to go and tell Excel what we want the bins or the buckets to be named. So bins, I'll put up there, and I'll start with 40, and then 50, and then 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. So there are my bins. Those are the dividing lines between the different groups, the different groupings. Now you click Data Analysis. Let me zoom in again. as annoying as it is. Whoops, not that. Let's zoom in. Okay, so you click data analysis and you'll get a new window that pops up. Let me zoom out for a sec so you can see what it looks like before I zoom in again. So you get a little window that pops up. And in that window, you want to choose histogram. So click histogram, click OK. And now for the fun part, which seems to flummox people, so pay attention and we'll do this slowly and carefully. The histogram, you have the input range, you have the bin range that we're going to input. We're going to basically select what's over there. And then there are a couple of other options down here. So let's deal with these two first. What it wants to know is it wants to know where is the data. So what you'll do is you're going to click this little arrow here, the up arrow, and then you're going to highlight your data, including the word grade. So here's what I'll do. I'll do the same thing. See, I click that little up arrow, and then this sort of, it shrinks this thing down so it's just a little tiny bar. That way you can go over here and highlight grade, and it's going to be a little bit annoying to do. Well, no, I guess I did it. There it is. I highlighted. So I've highlighted the grades, and then I go back over to histogram, and I click this little arrow there. And so it's been, so notice that it's input, it's put the, where my data is there, is in the box. So next we're going to do the same for bin range. So click the little arrow next to bin range, go find your bins, there they are, and include the word bins, include the word. So there it is. So I've highlighted, and then I go over here and I'm going to click that. There. So maybe it would help. I'll zoom back out so you can see everything. There. Okay, so you've got the input range is your data, bin range is your bins. Those are the things you. Now, since we highlighted our labels, make sure you highlight your labels every time. Then you can select this little box that says labels. I'll zoom in one more time. That's it. So you have labels. Then you're going to select output range, and you're going to put this out, put it somewhere. So I'm going to just select this cell right here. Let me zoom out so you can see what it looks like. So I've just picked a cell, just something that doesn't have anything in it. So let's pick a place. Then you can click OK. There we go. Click OK. And oh, wait. Oh, no, one more thing. Sorry. This is the dumb. Oh, you've already clicked OK? It's OK. You can always go back and do it again. And if you go back and do it again, it remembers all of your stuff that you typed in there the first time. Anyway, the last thing is chart output. I don't know why they would have a histogram tool that doesn't make a histogram. But unless you click that little box, it will not make a histogram. Yeah, see, so many steps. If only the Macintosh had the thing. It's okay. There may be a way to do it, Macintosh people. And if there is, I'll tell you on Wednesday. But right now, we're stuck with this. So there it is. Here's our histogram. Let me zoom back out so we can see it all. So notice what it does is it makes this beautiful frequency distribution right here. So it has the bins, it has the frequencies, and then it makes a nice chart. Now that chart is not a histogram. If you put a chart like this on your exam, I will mark it wrong. And the reason is, I think I mentioned this, that when you have a chart that looks like this is a bar chart. There are gaps between the bars. Not that big of a deal, but we want to avoid the gaps between the bars. If you'll notice the one that, the tool, this one has no gaps. That's what we want it to look like. So let's go ahead and fix this. So to fix this, I'm going to just right click or double tap. I think the categories down here in format axis. Let's see if you have this. So if you do format axis, no, that's not it. Right click or double tap one of the bars. It's been a little while since I've done this. And use format data series. That's better. Okay, so it's you right click one of the bars, click format data series, and you'll get this little sidebar. And on that sidebar, you'll notice that there is a series overlap and a gap width. And we want the gap width to be 0. Gap width to be, why is this like this? 0. Just click 0. Let's see, did that do it? Yeah, that's what I want. So much better. I don't like the way that this histogram works, the way the data analysis toolpack makes the histogram. Bunch of different reasons. First of all, look at the way it labels these. Those are the upper limits of each of the groupings. But you wouldn't know that from unless you knew that that's what it was doing. It's so much better the way that the insert graph makes it back here because it tells you this bin or this grouping is from 90 to 100. So bear in mind that this is everyone who is more than 90 up to 100. This is everyone who's more than 80 up to 90. So, I mean, I suppose that if you could line these up right there and there, might be a little bit better. By the way, once you have this, you can relabel it. Just a minute, I will show you how to do that. It involves a ton of right-clicking or whatever double tapping you do. I don't like this. I just delete the legend because it's in the way. So I just delete that. But under bins, oh, I guess I just have to click it. It's not bins, these are scores. So exam scores. Frequency is good, but you could change this to be like statistics exam scores, something like that. So one last thing, that if you right-click one of the bars and you do Format Data Series, you can also change the color. So over here on the right, this isn't essential, but if you want to, you can change this. Let's see, make it a gradient, I suppose. That looks kind of cool. It's preset. Let's do it with this one. Yeah, that looks kind of nice, doesn't it? And then you can put a line around it. Where's my line? Not the shadow. Oh, maybe. That's not right. No fill. Oh, border. There it is. So you can fool around. It's not essential though. So there, that might be nice to change this to a little bigger. There. Let's see. How does that look? Ooh, that's kind of harsh on the eyes, isn't it? But at least you can see the bars. You probably could make it look prettier than mine, but there are lots of options to make it look good. I just want to make sure you get the right shape. So we have the shape of the data here. Oh, there it is. All right, phew. So 2 different ways now to make your histograms. And probably the non-Macintosh people will prefer the first way because the data analysis is a little clunky. It takes a lot more effort. Like I said, I'm not going to leave you guys in the lurch, though. I'm going to, after class, sometime today, I will see if I can figure out how to take a Macintosh and make it show me where, you know, the, what was the thing that we were missing? We were missing the, what was that? For the histogram. The bin width or something. Yeah, bin width. That was it. It's the bin width. Or, yeah, so I'll see if I can figure out how to do that. And then if I can, I'll let you know. This is good, though, to remind, I guess now that I'm thinking about it, let me talk to you about this briefly. I know this is kind of a boring class. We'll get back to the more exciting classes on Wednesday. We'll actually do things. You won't use your computers, so you won't need your computers unless you're one of these people who have signed a form with me saying that you're going to use your computers only for good and not for evil. But anyway, on our web page, you recognize our Moodle page. You will find down here under homework, there is homework, brand new, no, wait, homework help videos. Wait, there's brand new homework. Wait, which one did I don't know which one of those. I just added one, added a new one. Did I put it under brand new? Let's see. So this is what, and sorry to out you, Nevaeh, but there, it's the way it is. This does not look, yeah, this is not the same. No, this is different. So you can look there to see if there's anything that might help you with your troubles. And so you'll notice here, this is 2.2.3. This is work going to be due later this week. Construct and understand frequency tables for a set of data with technology. We have create and interpret histograms, although I think I do this not with bins, but I can always do that. Let's see, line and bar graphs. Wow, so much. Line and bar graphs, more line and bar graphs. Yeah, anyway, so there's a bunch of stuff there. But apparently I didn't realize that I should have put it there because I made a video this weekend. So it's just an advertisement and I put it on this page. So it's right here. This is the one that I made this weekend. And basically all this is it's a super boring video of me doing this homework assignment. So I'm just blabbing and talking about it like, here's how you do this, and this is what goes here, and so on. And so if you get stuck with something, you can always email me and say, hey man, I just need a little bit of help with this. If you make a video, it'll be great. Takes me what, 6 minutes? Is that what, I think this is a 6-minute video. So it doesn't take me long, and I'm happy to do it if that'll help you. It might not. Apparently it didn't help everyone that saw it, but anyway, there's that. And there's also some apparently videos here. Yeah, it's confusing that I have 2 pages. I think one of them I made a long time ago, and this one I made in the spring. I think that's the difference. But I'll figure out. I'll add them. If you email me, I'll add it to one of those. I'll let you know where it is. Okay, so there are videos there. Okay, moving on. Let's see, here we are, we've done this. So we got to do dot plots. Dot plots are pretty straightforward, but basically a dot plot looks like a histogram, only it's quicker to make if you did it by hand. Unfortunately, doing it by computer is not quite as quick, but it's not terrible. So let me just show you how we would do this. So here is on our Excel spreadsheet. You're going to switch to the next one over, the next tab. So go to the bottom here. Let me get rid of this sidebar. Sidebar's gone. Down at the bottom, you'll see, I can't read this. Is it ages? Is this that color? Jeez, yes, ages. So ages. So what are these ages? These are ages of kids that were in the nursery at church on Sunday. So it's this mega church that has lots of kids. So these are kids dropped off at the nursery, and these are their ages in years. As before, I just made this stuff up. So just trying to make it seem a little bit more interesting. So those are the ages of the kids. A dot plot, if I was to make a dot plot, here's what it would look like. So let me just show you. I'll do it up on here. So you have a line. It's a number line. By the way, when you make number lines, do your best to have your numbers evenly spaced. So don't do this. Okay, so you see what I just did there? I put 4 and then the next one is 7. It's not evenly spaced. So if you don't have any 5s, for example, just put a 5 there, but don't, just skip ahead. Okay, so here's what, I guess I have to go to 11. I'm not going to. So here's what a dot plot is. You put a dot above each of these numbers for each of the kids. So we have a baby, an infant, 0. Then you have a 5-year-old. Just watch as you go down the list here. You have another baby. Then you have a 2-year-old. So you see how I'm doing this? And then you have a 6-year-old. So you have a dot. So basically, we just have to make Excel do that. It's a little bit, I don't know, it's a little weird, but I'll try my best to help you. So here's how I'm going to have us do this. How it's going to work is I'm going to put a number here. And the number is going to correspond with how many kids there are of that age here or before. So yeah, that's confusing. Let me just do it, and then you'll see how it's done. So here's how this works: is you use the COUNTIF function. So I told you that that's going to be a popular function that we use. Let me zoom in so we can all see the joy that we're going to have. So use equals COUNTIF. This should work on any of the computers, hopefully. But if you have a substandard computer, please do borrow one from the hub. Okay, so COUNTIF. So the range that we're going to count is going to be, now here I'm going to need to figure out, is that A3? So you need to know where you're starting. You're starting with A3. That's this here. So COUNTIF, I have $, or no, it doesn't, the $sign doesn't matter yet. $3. I'll explain in a minute. colon A3, comma A3. I know there's lots of A's and 3's there, but I'll explain. It'll hopefully become obvious once I get done doing this. But that's exactly what it should look like, and that should be in cell B3. Press enter, and you should get the number 1. Whoop-de-doo, right? Okay, let me show you a little trick. Whenever you have a formula that you want to copy down an entire row, one way to do it is, you see this little square here? So I don't know, I could zoom in even further, but at the bottom of when you click on a cell, you'll see a little tiny square there that's, I think, called the handle for that square, that cell. But you see that little square? If you double click that square, it will copy that formula all the way down to the bottom of your data. Whoops, I missed. Hold on a minute. Try again. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? It goes all the way down. So it just copied that formula. Now, you might wonder what's special about this formula. Well, let me just go down here to this one. So notice what it's done. It is saying, I'm going to count all the numbers between the very first number and whatever's over here. And what I'm looking for are numbers like the one over here. So it's basically going through and counting the number of times it sees whatever number it is on the left. So, for example, this is the third one in the list. Ignore this little green thing. Excel doesn't know what we're doing. It thinks it knows, and it thinks we've made a mistake, but we have not. So anyway, this is the third one. If we go down to the next one, let me see if I can find the next one. I hope there's another one. There it is. Notice that one there is the fourth one. So that's what this is doing, is it's just counting how many there are. And the reason why this is useful to us is now all we need to do is make a scatter plot of these two columns. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to highlight the two columns. There they are. Make a scatter plot. So insert, click insert, and you can either click recommended charts, or you can just pick the one that looks like a scatter plot. Here, let me zoom in so you can see. So whichever way is easiest, I mean, either way it'll work. I'm going to just click this one here and say, oh, I want a scatter plot that looks like this. Oh, look. Let me zoom out. Zoom out. There it is. Look at that. It made exactly what I wanted. Sorry. Why is it not? Oh, I was on the wrong screen. I can see this there, so that's why. There it is. So there it is. There's my dot plot. If after it got done, it should look something like this. I'll pause for a minute and see if anyone's lost, because I'm sure there is someone who's lost, or you can't double click or whatever. So if you're stuck, now's the time to complain. We have 5 minutes. We can do this. Yeah, what do you think, Calvin? Calvin?
Yeah, when I pull it down to have the count, it goes
It won't let you. So that's because you've got an iPad. So you could just copy and paste that down. Copy and then highlight and then paste the whole thing in there. There's various ways to do it. But let's skip ahead, because eventually you're going to borrow a real computer from the... so there's probably a way to do it, but I wouldn't dwell on it too much, because we want you to be able to use a good computer. Not that the iPad is great. I've got one right here. It's great for certain things, but so don't take it personally. Let's move on to babies and see if we can do this. This one's an easy one. Line graph. Line graphs are great for babies. What I did was I picked the month that my wife was born. So remember I had that baby data? Number of babies born each day in the month that my wife was born. So this is the first day of that month. Here's the 30th day of that month. I'll tell you what month it was in just a minute. But these are all the babies that were born during that month in 1969, the year my wife was born. So I'm going to make a line graph of these data. So I'm just going to highlight the data, and then click insert. And then either I can click this thing, line or area chart, or just click the recommended charts. And you'll notice that the one that is, you can sort of select which one you want. I like the one with the dots, but you don't have to have dots if you don't want them. Yeah, let's just do that. There, that's good. So there it is. There's my babies. So I think I mentioned to you the this sort of phenomenon that discovered when I was studying the babies, and that is that the weekends, so you can see this is Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you have this cycling, but then check this out. You get to hear Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, dips really far, Friday, Saturday, Sunday again. That day, this is November of 2000, or no, 2000, November of 1969, and that dip there is Thanksgiving of that particular year. And I think I mentioned that you see these dips that occur, but then you have these super low points, Christmas Day, Thanksgiving is really low, 4th of July, that Easter. No one wants to be born on Easter or the 4th of July. Well, it's not that you don't want to be born, it's that the doctors don't want to work. So just an interesting phenomenon. But anyway, there's a line chart. They're really easy. Let's see, 2 more. What else do we have? See what else we have. Bar charts and pie charts. These are so similar. Do we have time for it? Oy, we don't have time. Okay, we'll have to do these. I hate to take more time in front of you. They're so simple. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to use COUNTIF to make a frequency distribution, and then you can turn it into a bar chart or a pie chart. So I might go over this on Wednesday just briefly, but you're not going to need your computers. If I don't remember when I have the homework due, if the homework for Excel is due on Wednesday or Friday, but if you get into a panic, come see me. I'm always here at like 6:30. I know that's a super popular time, so you might want to make an appointment in the morning, that is. And also I can make videos. So if you get stuck on some of the homework and you say, I don't know how to make a pie chart, let me know. I'll put it up on our Moodle page. Stick around if you want to chat or complain or any